Hello everybody, welcome back. So let's have a look at our favourite coin, Matic. And as I was saying on my last video last night, that I was expecting a bit of a pullback because I'm expecting Bitcoin to have a bit of a pullback, and it would appear, we'll just move on to the Bitcoin chart, it would appear that Bitcoin has, let's get a Bitcoin chart up, shall we? It would appear that Bitcoin has had a hunt for shorts and has now begun a gradual descend. This is what we see time and time again. Bitcoin loves to hunt people's shorts out and then continue with its inevitable downwards trend. So I am expecting us to creep our way down at least to the round about the 7,250, if not 7,200 area over the next day or two. What's that going to do for the rest of our coins, and most importantly, what's that going to do for Matic? Excuse me. So Matic, right? So here we go. So we kind of had a top here. Those who follow my channel or are linked in with my not my Instagram, my Telegram, know that I actually sold not the actual top, but quite close to it because I felt like it was getting a bit toppy, and we're waiting to have a pullback. Now you know that I'm bullish on Matic. You know that is the way I see things. But when something becomes a little too obvious, I can't just sit there and hold as my coins go down in value. I just can't do that. You know, if I have the opportunity to sell and buy back, I will. It doesn't mean that I'm not bullish on Matic. I definitely am bullish on Matic, but we have to take into consideration what's happened here. We had over 200% increase from this green candle. I'm not going to count that big wick. We had, we'll call it 211% increase from top to bottom. That's a very nice little bit of gainage, you could call it there. Something has to give, something has to pull back, and it's not through the fault of Matic. Matic was definitely getting a bit toppy on its own, but Bitcoin is going to dictate the market, and Bitcoin is in for a deeper correction in my book. I know there's a lot of people that saying it's going crazy, it's going to go, super long, and there's a golden cross on the weekly, which, there has been a golden cross on the weekly, or is about to. I'm not really sure. I'm not really focused on those, because what I can say is that we have, you've got a golden cross on the weekly, but we're surrounded by everything else which is bearish. Everything else is basically bearish. So you've got to weigh up the pros and the cons, the risk and the reward. And what I would say is that we've got one bullish indicator saying that there's a golden cross on the weekly. You know how long weekly things take to play out. It's not immediately. There could quite easily be a deep correction before that weekly golden cross plays out. And at the moment everything else is certainly bearish. So I would say that we're likely to come back down into the 6,000 area at some point before we start to go bullish again. Now that's not an absolute certainty, but all the indicators suggest we've still got more movement to go to the down, so I expect that to happen. I'm not going to bore you with Bitcoin. We're going to go moving on to Matic. We're going to have a look at what is likely to happen in the event that Bitcoin pulls back any further. What sort of levels could we expect Matic to bounce on? So Matic, look at this MACD, super bullish. It's looking like it wants to have a little bit of a rest, and in that rest it's probably going to pull back, not because it wants to, but because it has to pull back. So my first correction, in the event that Bitcoin comes down, that would be a level of around about 490 sats. That would be the first area, and that's only if it does that in the next 24 hours or so. These moving averages will move up, and they will probably allow that support to move up with it. But that'll be my first line of defense here, 490 sats. Hopefully that will be a nice support area for us here. We launched from that area here. We've also got moving averages here, so it would probably be an okay place for it to have a little bounce at. It doesn't mean it's going to be its bottom though, because it could come down further than that. Let's have a look at the tether pairing and see what these correlate to. So that area there, that wick there, would now be at around about 3.7 cent. 3.7, more or less 3.7% or just above. We could be coming down to that area before a bounce. If that comes down a little further, we'll be down at 3.645. so only a little bit further down in all fairness. But realistically, if all this does break down, the lowest I would expect to see a decent bounce will be around 3.5. Now, if that breaks down, things get nasty and we really start to come down incrementally by a matter of 0.5 cent. But don't worry, everybody. We've had 200% up, so like I say, it was getting a bit toppy. It was okay to sell that there. That's fine, and it's looking for a nice place to buy it back now. That's all we're looking to do. It's a nice place to buy it back for its inevitable continuation, should I say, towards its all-time high. But at the moment, it's not looking like it wants to do an all-time high right now. It looks like it wants to do a correction, and that's perfectly normal, because what we don't want to see is something like this. We didn't want to see that, and we're not going to get that, which is good. Hopefully we're not going to get that. What we really want to see is pullbacks, and reaccumulation would be even better, because that way the all-time high and my sort of 10-cent January could still be on track. What you really don't want is a 10-cent December, because that would mean likely a massive pullback, and maybe even deeper than this one. We don't want that kind of thing. We want to see pullbacks and reaccumulation around this zone between the 3.5 to 4 cent area would be nice. Even if we came back down into this level and reaccumulated in this level for a while, that'd still be very healthy and very good. That'd be fine. But for the moment, let's concentrate on that pullback. Let's allow this all to happen. Let's focus on Bitcoin, because Bitcoin's going to dominate the market again and dictate the movement of the overall market, like it already has done today. And I know that a lot of people on Twitter and all these other things are telling me that it doesn't correlate. But there are correlations, of course there are. It doesn't match completely. It's not going to match completely, but it does correlate with the rest of the market. If the market's going to come down, Matic will come down too. Might not come down at the same speed, but it will definitely come down. So anyway, we've got those indicators there. We've got those moving averages. We've got these support levels. So that's what we're looking at. 490 sats to start with, or 3.7 cent area. If that breaks down, 3.5, and if that breaks down, somewhere within this area would be nice to accumulate. But don't go buying every single dip that you find, because like I say, if Bitcoin does come down like I expect it to, it will pull everything down, and Matic has topped out for the moment, so it's going to be vulnerable to pullbacks right now, and those pullbacks could be larger of that of Bitcoin, definitely. So whatever Bitcoin does, I would expect Matic to be amplified by that at this moment in time. So just be careful out there. Anyway, I'm not a financial advisor, so it's not financial advice. But thanks for watching. I hope you have a nice evening. Take it easy.